Hello and welcome back to the Road to Good Cooking. When the weather is this nice here in the desert, it's time for me to start thinking about my summertime munchies. So today I'm making salsa. Actually, I'm making salsa two ways. The first salsa recipe is one I make all the time. The second recipe is from one of my YouTube buddies, James, over at Aim'em and Claim'em Smokers. I'm a lightweight, so I had to cut back on some of the hot peppers James had in his recipe. Forgive me, James. I will post James's hot salsa recipe in the description box below for you guys to check out. Now let's get started. Here's my ingredients. I have some cherry tomatoes, a couple of Roma tomatoes that I'll be using, a half of a really large onion, and about 4 or 5 fresh cloves of garlic. And I'm using a serrano pepper that I cut in half and took the seeds out so it wouldn't be so hot. And here's a really good tip I learned from James. I make salsa all the time, and it never occurred to me to take the leaves off of the stems, and that's what James recommended. It does make a difference in the flavor, and I will just take the stems, mulch it up, and put it in my garden. I did a blog on that, and I'll post the link to making mulch in the description box below. Line a baking sheet pan with aluminum foil and coat it with olive oil. Add all the veggies to the pan and toss them with the olive oil. My veggies went into a 450-degree oven for about 30 minutes and then on broil until they were charred. I transferred the roasted veggies to a glass bowl, and I'm going to pour this fabulous tasting pan juice all over my veggies. Here's the rest of my ingredients. Here's my cilantro leaves. I'll be using the juice of 1 whole lime. And I'll also be using 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin and 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. And here's my roasted veggies. Everything's ready to go. I will be post chopping everything, and it should be ready in just a second. And here's my finished salsa. I left it kind of chunky because I like to taste little bits of, little pieces of the tomato, and you can definitely taste the chard in the cherry tomatoes. They're much sweeter, and it just adds a really nice flavor to the salsa. I poured my salsa in a glass bowl, covered it with plastic wrap, and it'll go in the fridge till I'm ready to serve it. Now it's time to start on James's hot spicy salsa recipe. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't use the same amount of hot peppers that James used in his recipe, simply because I'm a lightweight and I can't tolerate too much hot stuff. But all in all, it turned out really well. I will definitely make this recipe again, and you have got to try this recipe. You won't be disappointed. Trust me on that one. Here's my ingredients. There's my peppers, my habanero peppers, the serrano peppers. I'll be using 2 avocados, and I'm also going to be using 1 whole white onion and 1/2 of a red onion that I had left over from the first recipe. I'm using Roma tomatoes in this recipe, and serrano, more serrano peppers, jalapeno peppers, and a whole bunch of garlic. I took the seeds out of my peppers because I didn't want them too hot. I roasted all of my veggies in a 450-degree oven for about 30-35 minutes. Then I put the oven on broil, and I charred all of my veggies until they were, slightly dark on the top. Now, charring the tomatoes really brings out the flavor. I added my roasted veggies to the food processor. I'm also going to use roasted bell pepper that I had made up a couple of days ago. James used fresh bell pepper in his, and then he just cooked them on top of the stove. So I already had my peppers already roasted, so I'm just using mine. And I'm going to squeeze the juice of one lime. I really had to fight with this lime because it was so big, and it was bigger than my juice squeezer, but I finally got it in there, no worries. Ah, here it goes. Get it all in there. Okay, I got everything in there. I think I'm going to have to transfer my mixture to my larger blender because I still have more ingredients to put in there. And as you can see, my food processor is full. Transferred everything to my larger blender, and now we blend. Now I'm going to add my crema. Now you can add as much crema as you like. I like my salsa nice and creamy, so I'm going to put a good amount in there. I'm going to add the avocados and blend it one more time just to make sure everything is well combined. I transferred my salsa to a glass bowl. I'm going to cover it up with plastic wrap until I'm ready to serve it. Now I didn't add my peppers in there, so I think I'm going to put those in there now that I've tasted it because it does need a little bit more heat. And here's my peppers. Both of my salsas are done. I tasted both with some chips and some extra lime, and they were awesome. And you can't have awesome salsa without making some taquitos and serving it with a couple of beers and a couple of slices of lime. And I can't have all this goodness without sharing it with my girls on the patio. And when we all get together, it is just a barrel of fun. We don't need a reason to get together. We just do it, and it was a wonderful afternoon. The girls are here. Party's on. See, says. Well, don't drink it. I'll drink it.
No, you're moving kitty.
I was going to pass.
Oh, I'll get it. Salud.
She's busy with her beer trying to salute. Salute.
Yeah, the lime in it.
Yes.
Oh.
You put the lime in it? Squeeze the lime in it.
I did. Get you some.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Put lime in anything.
Now I got this recipe from one of my YouTube buddies. He made it like super hot. I couldn't go that hot.
Oh, I don't know what it would have been like.
Oh. Can I have some of the red salsa?
Okay, sis was in charge of the red sauce. I was in charge of this one. Yeah.
Do you want some hot sauce or no?
You did well.
Put some hot sauce on. Thank
Oh,
you.
God.
Good.
I do like sriracha.
Oh. The red one's my favorite.
It has a sweetness about it.
You know, cherry tomatoes are sweeter. The little round ones. You guys hear what the president of Mexico said about Trump? He said, I ain't building that. Wait, they bleeped him out. Beep. Wall. He said he's gonna build that wall. He got more money than we do.
I had a Chicago dog.
In Chicago? Oh. It's wrong. Did she bring one back? Did you hear that in the conversation? I didn't hear that conversation.
No, that's all right, because we get there on it.